Tiara.
Will!
What, Kate?
Oh, I've got this awesome thing for you. You know how we were discussing the other day about your job interview and what you could do to improve? I've done this awesome chart for you.
What? A chart?
So you can mark down when you do stuff. What do you think?
Let me have a look at that. What is this?
So it's just a way that you can monitor and make sure that you do everything that they kind of talked about when they gave you feedback on your interview. So brush your hair.
Well, I already brushed my hair 6 times. How else do you think I look this good?
All right, well then you need to put 6 lines.
Yeah.
Have you had a shower? I don't think so, because you're kind of
No, I might have a shower before I go to work.
Yeah, you need one.
I brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brushed my
All
teeth.
right, well, mark it off.
Clean
Your
clothes.
clothes are pretty clean.
Yeah, they're off the floor, but they look pretty clean.
Yeah, maybe they smell too, so you might, yeah. All right, have you washed your hands this morning?
No.
Okay. Make sure you wash your hands before we go.
I'll do that.
And then, yeah, so just throughout the day, you can take this with you or just mark it down tonight, keep it in your head, and yeah, see how you go.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate.
No worries.
Wonder what we're going to be doing today.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hi guys, just come in and pop your bags down.
Okay. So what are we doing today, Paula?
So we're going to do some basketball drills. So what I need you to do is grab 3 basketballs, the bibs, some cones, and then just sign them out, and I'll meet you out on the basketball court and we'll go through what we're going to do.
Awesome.
Right.
Can't
Sounds
wait.
like a plan.
Thanks guys.
Thanks.
So we need... I'll get the basketballs.
Yep. And I'll get the cones and bibs. You right with all those?
Yep. Good.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Did you sign them out?
Oh, I forgot. I'll put these down and then I'll go sign out.
Okay. So what do you actually have to do here?
So I think she said something about we have to sign stuff out. Where? Oh, yeah, so...
Well, obviously name.
Okay, so... Will...
Will, what are you doing it in pencil for?
Oh, shouldn't I do it?
All forms,
Oh.
black or blue pen.
It's probably why the pens are here, right?
I dare say so.
Alright. So... Will... What's today's date?
The 26th.
26th. 5th. So... 3 basketballs.
Alright, and obviously a signature here to say that we've taken it out.
Cool. Alright, we're done.
Well, the cones and the bibs. They need to be signed out too. See, it says all sports equipment, so we need to make sure. Awesome. Done. I don't know what you do without me sometimes, Will.
Yeah, I know.
Hygiene is an important part of working. You have to present yourself clean, tidy and respectful. Think about the people you see working in your community. What do they wear? How do they look? Do they present themselves and their jobs well?
Your worksheet for this week is to practice filling out your information and keeping a tally of things you should do every day and how many times you should do it. Have a good week, and as always, leave a comment or a like on our Facebook page. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Winner, welcome back. Today's word of the day is
Inga, meaning foot or toes.
have a go at saying.
Inga, meaning foot or toes.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Inga. Inga.
Inga.
Hello everyone, how are you going? We're still talking about persuasion or persuasive writing or to persuade. Can you remember what persuade means? It means to talk someone into something. When they say no and you want them to say yes. There's 3 ways to persuade. The first one is evidence. And so you've got to tell something that will make them believe you. It's got to be true, like in a court or to the police. Evidence. The second way of persuading someone is with emotion. Now, if you make them feel happy for you or excited for you, that's appealing to their emotions. So all these sorts of things might persuade someone into your way of thinking, to getting what you want. It's different from knowing, it's different from evidence. Now, the last thing you have to do is use emphasis, which means saying it again. So in your worksheet, you'll be using a closing sentence where you say it again. As I said, when someone says no, you need to give them reasons to say yes. Now, what about the video from Female Boarding? The student did not convince Miss K because her reasons were just not good enough. But Miss K did a really good job of explaining why she couldn't go shopping, because she'd stayed up all night running around. So that is a reason. That's explaining with a good, strong reason. Now it's time for you to do your worksheet for week 8. You've seen examples of people using persuasion. What about the one wanting to go to the pool? What about the one trying to get another dog in the Elsa story? Now, on your worksheet, there's an example about a motorbike, wanting to get a motorbike, persuading someone to let you get a motorbike. But that's just an example. I don't want you to use the same one. What would you have to talk your family into? Remember to use strong words, and I've put some words at the bottom of your worksheet to help you out. Okay, everyone, let's just have a quick look at the example on your worksheet. So you're starting with, I want a motorbike. And your main idea that it would be great because you're on holidays. Now this is evidence because you are on holidays. That's a true thing. Now the next thing you say, your reason would be, it would be fun. Now that's appealing to your family's emotions. They want you to have fun. Your second reason is also about emotions because you say, I can ride it with my friends. Everybody wants to have friends. Your last reason, you're going back to evidence. You're trying to convince them. You're trying to persuade them. So you say, I will look after it. Of course, you can't get a good thing like a motorbike if you don't take care of it. And finally is the emphasis. So you're going back and saying things again. So you say, I have been at school And now I want to be with my friends and play. How do you think that would go? Do you think you'd get your motorbike? I think so. All right, good job everyone, bye.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's instalment of STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. Today's session is a math-based one.
Today we're going to do what's called a year puzzle, and it's originally called a year puzzle because people would pick their year of their birth to write the numbers that they're going to use for the equations. Today we're just going to randomly pick 1968. So I'm going to pick 1968, and that's going to be the 4 numbers that I will use to fill out my sheet. So I've got here the numbers 1 to 100, and the object of this is to actually think of an equation using those 4 numbers, only once each, that the answer will equal all of these numbers. So for example, I could do, so I wanted to make, say, 87. I could do 19 plus 68. So if I do 19 plus 68, I would find 87 here and write 19 plus 68 beside it, and that's my first one finished. Then I'll pick another one. So if I can work backwards too. So if I did say something like 6 times 8, which is 48, and then 1 plus 9, which is 10, I'd have 58. So I'd go to 58, I do 6 times 8, and then 1 plus 9. So you can use any operation, you can use brackets, you can use any number value that you know. You could cube, you could square, square root, all of those things you're able to use, but you're only allowed to use each of those 4 digits once. Now those 4 digits can be combined like what I did to make 19 or 68, or they can all be simple and just straightforward, like say 1 plus 9 plus 6 minus 8 is 8. So I just go here to number 8 and just write 1 plus 9 plus 6 minus 8. So your challenge is to be able to think of and be as creative as you can to fill in all the equations from 0 to 100. Go for it.
G'day and welcome to another Clontarf segment on your RTE. Today we're going to have a look at an indoor sport, darts. Darts requires good hand-eye coordination to throw accurately, and it also requires good math skills to do the scoring. The maths in dart scoring includes addition, subtraction, multiplication by 2 and 3, and knowing the difference between odd and even numbers. First, let's have a look at the dartboard, and you can see it has numbers from 1 to 20 scattered around the board. Also has a bullseye. The green bit is worth 25 and the red bit is worth 50. Now there are several different types of dart games you can play, but in official competitions they play a game called 501. In 501, each player throws 3 darts and then it's time to do some addition as we add up the scores from each dart. Here's some I prepared earlier. 20 plus 5 plus 1 equals 26. And now it's time to do some subtraction as we take that score away from 501. 501 minus 26 equals 475. This time we'll add some multiplying by 2 and by 3. This band around the outside is called a double. So if your dart lands in there like this one, you get the score multiplied by 2. So 20 times 2 equals 40. This band is called a triple. When your dart lands in there, you get 3 times the score you've hit. So this time, 20 times 3 is 60. Let's do some more addition. 60 plus 40 plus 20 equals 120. And now, time for some subtraction. Our overall score is now 355. There is a twist in this game at the end that requires you to understand the difference between odd numbers and even numbers. You have to finish on exactly 0 and do so with a double. So if you have an odd number left, you cannot win with your next dart. Only even numbers can be divided by 2 to give you another whole number. Good darts players can do these maths calculations in their heads very quickly. Let's have a look at Yarra College dart shark Mr. Mark show us how quickly he scores his way down from 301 and how quickly he does the maths. Mr. Mark throwing his first set of darts, and as he heads up towards the board to get his darts out, he'll be adding up the total of those 3 darts. So he does the addition and now he does some subtraction. His total score is now 222. So his 3 darts must have added up to 79, because 301 takes 79 equals 222. Now Mr. Mark, with his second turn, a little hesitation before the 3rd dart. There it goes, and again he'll be adding up the total of those 3 darts as he heads towards the board. Addition and now subtraction, his total score now 200, so he must have scored 22 with those 3 darts. He can add up quick and he can throw quick too. Check this out. We'll slow Mr. Mark down now because he's nearly finished. You see the T on the scoreboard? That stands for double top or double 20. He had 40 left. Didn't hit the double 20, but he did hit a double 5, so he'll take 10 off his score. 30 left, he's going for double 15. And on the second dart, he gets the double 15, and Mr. Mark's score is now exactly 0. He had 30 left. 15 times 2 is 30. Double 15 gets him out of the game. He's pretty happy about it too. Nice darts, Mr. Mark, and nice scoring too. So if you play darts regularly, it will improve your maths.
What's up, Yara fam? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Yara to You. I'm Miss Tina, and today we are focusing on padding. So let's go, and I'll show you what we're going to need for today's lesson. Oh great, you're already here. So for today's lesson, we're going to be needing a pencil, a pen, and we're also going to be needing some paper. So let's find Miss Priscilla and let's get drawing.
Okay, welcome to today's art lesson where we're just going to be practicing some different shading techniques. So I'm using a fine tip black pen. If you can get hold of something similar, even just a ballpoint pen, that would be great for this exercise. So I've just started off here by drawing some simple objects, a cube, a circle, a cup, and some fruit, some cherries. And I'm going to be demonstrating these different techniques. So the first one is called cross-hatching. So I'm using my pen to do little crisscross motions as the shading. So instead of shading with a grey lead pencil and pressing harder or lighter, I'm just using little crisscross motions, and I can make it darker by overlapping and continuing to overlap in different directions. To show where the shadows are on this cube. So have a go. Second one here is called contour hatching. So it's really similar to cross hatching, except I'm following the contours or the circular motion of this circle. So my lines are circular lines, and then I'm doing that crisscross contour hatching. And this one here, it's got a funny name, it's called stippling. So I'm using tiny little dots, it's very time consuming, and to make it darker, I can cluster them closer together, or to show perhaps less shadow or the shadow kind of fading out, I can spread the dots further apart. So lots and lots and lots of little dots. And you can just experiment and use a combination of these different shading techniques. So you might want to use a little bit of cross-hatching and some little dots. And the last one here on the cherries, it's also got a funny name. It's called scumbling, and it's basically just little scribbles with my pen to show the shading. So just have a play around. Start off by drawing some basic objects and experiment with those 4 different shading techniques.
Welcome back to the word of the week. As you can see, I'm not Miss Sandra. Miss Sandra's away doing some other work at the school, so Daniel and myself are filling in. And we're going to talk about the word weight. Weight has got 2 different meanings, 2 different words. So weight, this one here, is when we're going to weigh something, which we'll do in a minute. We've got some scales down there. So weight, this is when we're going to weigh. So you're going into the shops, and this is how much something weighs. What about this weight? Spelt different. What does this weight mean? Yes, that's correct. I was waiting there for you to answer. I could be waiting for a bus. I could be waiting for the plane to bring us back to Urara. I could be waiting for the football season to start again. I could be waiting for my best friend to come round. I could be waiting for the TV programme. So that's our wait. So that wait there, that's what we're going to do. Did I say, you're going to wait for me now to work with this weight. So we've got weight. So we're going to use the scales to weigh something. On our last one of our other programs, we did show you the digital scales. So these are our digital scales. And what we're going to do now is we want to weigh in grams. So just make sure that that's on grams. And this is quite light. So I'm going to place this on to these scales. And that tells me that's 470 grams. 470 G, 470 grams. When I put it on these scales, it doesn't even move. Because this is used for heavier objects. Something like myself. Alright, so we put it over there. I'm going to put this water on. And I'm going to turn it round so we can see. You can see the scale move. So this says on here it's 10.5 kilos. Are they true? Have they stolen some water from us? Here we go. Oh, Daniel. Can you see that? I reckon it's just under 10 kilos. So have a little bit of leeway with the weight. But you can see, as you put more weight on, put more pressure on here, the weight goes up. And the scale is marked, this scale is marked in kilograms. Can you remember how many grams are in a kilogram? Yes, 1,000 grams make 1 kilogram. So that's our two types. Our scales here, for heavier objects. And our digital one here, we use this in the kitchen as well for lighter objects.
Now, we have looked and we're going to continue looking at weight. Can you remember some of the key important things that we learned so far? Well, we learned that we measure weight in a gram and in a kilogram. The lighter one is a gram, that's right. And how many grams go into 1 kilogram? You're right, 1,000. We use the example of a paperclip. 1,000 of these paper clips, if I weigh them, they're roughly going to weigh 1 kilogram. We also learned that we measure weight using scales, and the scales can look a little bit different depending on what we're measuring. For example, if we're measuring in the kitchen, we're going to use a baking scale. If we're measuring ourselves, we're going to use a weight scale that measures human people, not the same kind of thing. And we also looked at the way that we can read scales, that there's a digital way and an analog way. The digital way is represented with numbers, similar to how we'll read time on our phone. And the analog way involves us looking at a dial and seeing where on the number line it points to. Now, my team and I are going to continue showing you different ways and different clips of why it is very important to understand weight and understand why it is that we measure things in our lives. So stay tuned, and we hope that you enjoy.
So a Milo is 504 grams, so just over 500 grams, which makes that half a kilo. Then we're going to weigh our empty tin of dog food, and that's only 70 grams. So which is heavier? That's correct, the Milo is heavier. Now if you can remember, we had our bottles of water, and our full bottle of water weighed 500 and nearly 570 grams. Round it up again, and our empty bottle weighed only 17 grams. So which is heavier, our full bottle or our lighter bottle?
Good morning.
Welcome back to Urara.